Are you ready to experience the wildest, most action-packed ride of your life? Then hold on to your hats, because we're about to take you on a journey through the thrilling world of Johnny Ringo, the most notorious gunslinger the West has ever seen. Get ready to witness heart-stopping shootouts, high-stakes showdowns, and a life lived on the edge of the law. From his humble beginnings to his explosive rise to power, Johnny Ringo's story will leave you breathless and begging for more. But who was Johnny Ringo? What led him down the path of desperation and infamy? We'll answer those questions later on. But before that, let's take a journey back in time. Johnny Ringo was a notorious outlaw in the American Old West. Born in Indiana in 1850, Ringo's family moved around quite a bit. First to Missouri, and then to Wyoming, and eventually to Texas. Ringo's father died when he was just 14 years old, and he left his family in California 5 years later to head to Mason County, Texas. It was in Texas that Ringo would begin his criminal career. He befriended an ex-Texas Ranger named Scott Cooley, who was the adopted son of rancher Tim Williamson. Cooley already had a reputation as a dangerous man and was respected as a Texas Ranger. Trouble began when two American rustlers were attacked by a predominantly German mob. A full-blown war began when Tim Williamson was arrested by a hostile posse. Cooley and his friends, including Johnny Ringo, conducted a terror campaign against their rivals. Officials called it the Mason County War. The Texas Ranger Division has a long and storied history, which has made it an important part of Texas culture and history. Its origins can be traced back to Stephen F. Austin's call to arms in 1823, but it was not officially established until 1835, when the Permanent Council passed a resolution to create a group of Rangers to protect the Mexican border. The Rangers quickly became known for their bravery and skill, and were tasked with investigating a wide range of crimes, from robbing and political corruption to tracking down fugitives and serving as a security force at important state locations like the Alamo. They also acted as detectives and have been involved in some of the best-known criminal cases in the history of the Old West, such as those of gunfighter John Wesley Hardin, bank robber Sam Bass, and outlaws Bonnie and Clyde. Over the years, the Texas Rangers have taken part in many of the most important events in Texas history. They played a crucial role in stopping the assassination of Presidents William Howard Taft and Porfirio Diaz in El Paso, and have been involved in many other important moments throughout the state's history. Today, the Texas Rangers continue to serve as an investigative law enforcement agency with statewide jurisdiction. As of 2019, there are 166 commissioned members of the Ranger Force. The organization is a division of the Texas Department of Public Safety, TXDPS, and fulfills the role of Texas's State Bureau of Investigation. The Rangers are not just important for their role in law enforcement. However, they have also become an important part of Texas culture and mythology. The Lone Ranger, one of the most famous fictional characters in American history, was inspired by the Texas Rangers, the radio and television series Tales of the Texas Rangers, and Chuck Norris's portrayal of Cordell Walker in Walker. Texas Ranger are just a few examples of the many cultural references to the Rangers. The Texas Rangers are so culturally significant that they are legally protected against disbandment. There's even a museum dedicated to the Texas Rangers, known as the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum in Waco, Texas. This museum celebrates the cultural significance of the Rangers and showcases their long and storied history. But now, let's go back to our story. Sometime later, Scott Cooley and Johnny Ringo mistook Charlie Bader for his brother Pete and attacked him. Both men were jailed in Burnet, Texas by Sheriff A.J. Strickland, but Ringo and Cooley soon broke out of jail with the help of their friends, and they parted company to evade the law. The Mason County War ended in about November 1876. Scott Cooley was thought to be dead, and Johnny Ringo and his friend George Gladden were in jail. One of Ringo's alleged cellmates was the notorious outlaw, John Wesley Hardin. While Gladden was sentenced to 99 years, Ringo appears to have been acquitted. 2 years later, Ringo was a constable in Loyal Valley, Texas. Soon after this, he traveled to Arizona, where he would become a notorious figure in the town of Tombstone. Ringo arrived in Cochise County, Arizona Territory in 1879 with Joseph Graves Olney, alias Joe Hill. a friend from the Mason County War. In December 1879, a drunk Ringo shot unarmed Lewis Hancock in a Safford, Arizona saloon when Hancock refused a complimentary drink of whiskey, stating that he preferred beer. Hancock survived his wound. Soon after arriving in Tombstone, Ringo met editor Sam Purdy of the Tombstone Epitaph, who later writes of their talk. He said that he was certain of being killed as he was of living then. He said that he might run along for a couple of years more and may not last 2 days. Tombstone, a city in Cochise County, Arizona, was founded in 1879 by Ed Schaeflin, a prospector, and quickly became one of the last booming towns in the American frontier. Its success was largely due to the local silver mines, which produced up to 85 million in silver bullion, making it the most productive silver district in Arizona. In less than 7 years, the population grew from 100 to 14,000. Today, Tombstone is famous for the gunfight at the OK Corral and relies heavily on tourism for its revenue. Additionally, it houses the highest-rated brewery in the state of Arizona. Tombstone was built on Goose Flats, a mesa above the Goodenough mine. Within 2 years of its founding, it had a plethora of businesses, including 4 churches, a school, 2 banks, and an ice cream parlor. However, it also had 110 saloons, 14 gambling halls, and numerous dance halls and brothels, all situated among and atop many silver mines. The city also had a cultural side, with the Schaeflin Hall Opera House presenting operas to the town's gentlemen and ladies, while the miners and cowboys enjoyed shows at the Birdcage Theater. In Tombstone, Ringo developed a reputation for having a bad temper. He may have participated in robberies with the Cochise County Cowboys, a loosely associated group of outlaws. He was occasionally erroneously referred to as Ringo by local newspapers. He described himself as a speculator in the 1882 Cochise County Great Register. After Ringo's arrest in Galeyville, he was transferred to the Tombstone jail, where he awaited trial for robbery. However, on July 14, 1882, he was released on bond and was able to walk free while awaiting trial. During this time, Ringo continued to associate with the Cochise County Cowboys, a group of outlaws known for their crimes. They were responsible for a number of robberies in the area, and Ringo was known to participate in their activities. In October of 1882, Ringo was present at the gunfight at the OK Corral. Although he was not involved in the event, he had been seen with some of the cowboys prior to the incident. After the gunfight, tensions in Tombstone continued to rise, and several men were dead in a series of retaliatory attacks. Ringo himself was suspected of being involved in several of these crimes, but there was never enough evidence to charge him. He continued to live in the area and was known to have conflicts with law enforcement and other residents. On July 13, 1889, Johnny Ringo's body was found lying in a dry creek bed near the Turkey Creek Canyon in Arizona. The death of notorious outlaw John Ringo has been the subject of much speculation and controversy, with several theories about what happened. One popular theory involves Wyatt Earp, who, according to some sources, shot Ringo in West Turkey Creek Valley. However, this theory has been discredited as a hoax, with the author of the book, I Married Wyatt Earp, refusing to produce the source of manuscripts he claimed to have assembled from Earp's third wife, Josephine Marcus Earp. Another theory involves Doc Holliday, who some believe stepped in for Earp in response to a challenge from Ringo and shot him. However, court records indicate that Holliday was in Colorado at the time of Ringo's death, and he also had an outstanding arrest warrant in Arizona for his part in another crime. Another theory involves itinerant gambler Michael O'Rourke, who some believe returned to Arizona in 1882 to track down and kill Ringo as revenge for Wyatt Earp protecting him from a lynch mob organized and led by Ringo in 1881. Some have attributed Ringo's death to buckskin Frank Leslie, who allegedly confessed to killing Ringo while in prison for killing his wife. However, few believed his story, and some thought he was simply claiming credit for the crime to curry favor with Earp's inner circle or gain notoriety. Overall, the true identity of Ringo's killer remains a mystery, with each theory having its own strengths and weaknesses. Now it's time to talk about the unforgotten, witty last words from the outlaws of the Old West. Did you know we have a video about that? With almost 2 million views so far. Discover an amazing compilation of extraordinary quotes and images. Click the link to watch them now.